my name is Katarina. Let's plantize our world. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Here is another story on how our lifestyle choices impact our well-being. So it's been 5 weeks of challenges, and I didn't really want to make a video for a long time because I want this channel to be a place where people can go and get cheered up and not listen to, the challenges of another person. I don't think we need that really that much at the moment. But so I just didn't make any videos for the last 5 weeks. And I thought, what could I talk about? And I thought, no, I shouldn't ignore what actually happened during these 5 weeks. Maybe if I share it, someone can sort of feel connected to it or is going through a similar situation, and we don't feel so alone if we see that other people are having challenges too, And it actually came to me today, and I made the decision, right, I'm gonna do it today, even though it's already getting a little bit late in the day, because I've seen one of my heroes, Chuck Carroll, from who hosts the wonderful podcast. Is that called a podcast? Yeah, I think it's called a podcast of Exam Room by PCRM, the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine, and I am one of their Food for Life instructors. So I am well connected with them, and there was not on PCRM, there wasn't anything about Chuck Carroll and his challenges, but someone he's working with helped him make a video, or they made a video together, and he actually shared what's actually really happening in his life, because we always watch all those wonderful YouTube people and we all try to put our very best foot forward, but of course life happens. And thank you, Chuck, for inspiring me to be true and honest and have a look at this. What happened the last 5 weeks? So it started many weeks, more than 5 weeks ago. I've worked for a New Zealand research institute for almost coming up 20 years. Next April it's 20 years, so it's 19 years, a good 19 years. And I have wonderful work colleagues, and I just within the last half a year have experienced a lot of disrespect and being ignored and being treated very unfairly by people I never thought would do that. And it really got to me, and I mentioned it in a previous video. And because I'm quite sensitive when people, so I would not be very good if people would write very nasty comments on YouTube. I don't even really look at the comments. Up until now there were almost no comments, so that's great. But it also made me realize how much I'm affected by what other people think about me, and how it really, really affects my life. Not just, getting upset or angry or anything. Actually, I often don't get angry. I get sad and I get depressed and my body starts reacting. So that happened, and it affected me so much that I started to have brain fog. Like I try to think of something, or I walk into a room and I can't remember what I want. Or I sit at the computer and I'm supposed to focus and I just can't focus. So coming from a health perspective, I know that is actually inflammation in your brain. Inflammation can happen everywhere in your body. Arthritis is inflammation in the joints. Upset stomach, that's what I had for, several weeks, very not good digestion, and then you have these guidelines from the government, about colon cancer, and you should get screens done regularly, and ta-da, and then you feel guilty that you haven't done it, and I started worrying, maybe I have cancer, and it just all compounds on top of each other. So that happened, and then both of my dogs got really, really sick. In fact, they also had very bad diarrhea, where they got very sick, and when it cleans out the microbiome of a human or of a dog, that's very hard to come back from. It takes a while to build up that biome again, that ecosystem. It's like it's a beautiful system down there that is connected to our brain and to our immune system, and they're all talking to each other, and suddenly this system is very depleted, and my poor little dog, who's getting older, has sort of a failing liver, and we don't know why. So this didn't help him, and he got very weak, and I got very worried, and I thought, right, I'm going on a roadie anyway. Like I promised myself to go once a month for 3 days away and do not work all weekend. So I did go, but of course, then things happen on the road trip. I was not being focused, and I connected my caravan on the car, and I drove on the lawn area and the camping grounds, drove away maybe 2 meters, and the caravan fell off because it wasn't properly on. So it wasn't properly hooked on. So it was luck in the unluck. I don't think that's an English saying, but it's a Swiss saying. Glück im Unglück. And it created another stressful situation, because then it ripped out all my lights, and I had no indicators, and I had to drive 3 hours home on the highway, and I did not get caught by the police. So that was good, and I made it home safely, and I got the car fixed. But it was another additional challenge, and which I really didn't need, but these things happen. And my body got worse and worse, and I just carried on, and I didn't slow down. And then I was in the middle of, I am planning a trip to Switzerland to visit my 90-year-old mother, and that's a huge undertaking. I have to organize a house sitter. I have to get everything prepared here at home so that the house sitter can easily do the things and feed the horses and walk the dogs and have the special food for the sick dogs. And because I have live in a tiny home and sort of almost off the grid with compost oil and stuff, it's all a little bit more complicated than just a normal life. And so this was another stress thing which stresses me out. Well, it's just another challenge, more work. And then I got sick. I got so sick, my digestive system, my body said, no more, Katarina, I'm gonna slow you down now. And I could eat, but nothing stayed inside my body. It just went straight through me, and I got weaker and weaker. And then I thought, right, now I have to stop, and I have to take a day or two off. And I did. And looked after myself. I already knew what to do, because my dog just gone through the same experience. And it was interesting. I actually had ancient knowledge that I knew from probably my mother or whoever taught me, but I sort of knew what to do. And also from the new training, of course, as a disease prevention, nutrition for disease prevention teacher. I have a lot of knowledge now about how to help your body when it gets unwell. So I finally took the time, but man, it must have been 6 or 8 weeks where I disregarded all the signs and did not slow down, and then the body said that's enough, and I had to slow down. There was no choice anymore. So yeah, and I didn't want to share all of this, but I thought it's really important because another hero of mine, Chef AJ, she is going through health challenges, and as I mentioned before, Chuck Carroll, and going through health challenges, and they both are successful people. They know all about the lifestyle choices and how important they are. They eat excellent food, and I am sure they are making great efforts to have good sleep and enough sleep and have wonderful friend support. But I think they are not managing their stress well, and the same is very well, and the same is happening for me. And so it just showed me, even if you get so many things right on the lifestyle medicine pillar, if you got stress, if you don't address it, it's gonna put a spanner in the works. It makes you stop and slows you down. And I don't think it's going to be the last time that this will happen to me, because as you remember, when I did this series on lifestyle medicine and I talked about the lifestyle pillar stress, I said this is the one that I'm not that good at. So onwards and upwards. And you know what? The longer I didn't do videos, the more I started having self-doubts. I thought, what are you doing? Nobody is even interested. All these negative thoughts started creeping in. And I have a feeling these things like depression and self-doubt and not feeling worse, saying anything, came obviously from the disrespect at work that was not helping me. And I think also by having lost my wonderful healthy microbiome, and has had an effect on my brain, that I didn't feel I was worth it, or anyone even wants to listen to me. So, because intellectually I know this is not true, because I listen to so many wonderful YouTube people who ramble on and do simple things, and they cheer me up, like what is her? See, the brain fog is still here. Lulu's Way. Have a look at Lulu's Way. I just listen to her, simple sharing of what she does in her life. Nothing earth-shattering, but it cheers me up because she brings positivity into it and shares her life, and I enjoy listening to it. So this is it, and I will share some really happy pictures of my trip, my last road trip. I went to Kaikoura, which is a beautiful coastal area in New Zealand, and I drove the back road inland to Hanmer Springs, which is a thermal bath village in the mountains, and I went for a hot bath in the evening, so that was really lovely. And I went for gorgeous walks through a forest which is filled with fairy doors. You will see, it's very cute. Children and adults have put fairy doors on trees in a forest, and so creative and so lovely. And at the same time, because it's autumn in New Zealand, the forest was full of beautiful mushrooms. So I felt it was just nourishing my heart and helped me keep going but a bit longer, but I probably needed more. So I'm really looking forward to going to Switzerland and be amongst wonderful friends and be amongst family. And a very lovely sister of a friend of mine offered me, out of the kindness of their heart, they don't have a big home, to stay at their place. How wonderful is this? So a big shout out to my beautiful friends in Männedorf, and they even offered me to stay in their playhouse of their children, which is gorgeous. I will put an image on so you can see where I might be able. So if it's warm enough, I can stay there, or if it's cold, then I can probably sleep on a couch or something like this with a sleeping bag. So you never know where kindness comes from. I just stay open and I accept what I receive. So enough rambling. That's what happened in the last 5 weeks. I hope you enjoyed the little photographs and little movies of the wonderful time in Hanmer Springs and at the coast in Kaikoura, where there is the most wonderful New World shop you'll see, which takes care of dogs when the owners go in shopping in a most heartwarming way. So thank you, New World in Kaikoura. Big thumbs up to you guys, and to all of my listeners and viewers on YouTube. I wish you all the best, and let's support each other, and let's trust in the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, that there is always a solution for us, even if it looks a little bit dark sometimes and we are not listening to our bodies, because they talk to us. They let us know, and if I would listen more carefully, I could probably get a bit less affected by the things that happen in my world. Okay, enough of this. Lots of love. Mwah. Take care. Kaikoura.
Kate mama hara haki dotin kanapa emo yo ana hake au kote papa paira wa atu hanga te papa e hoa whaka whirinaki Eiho koto ingo ai shua matu anu inure ore kawaita ahau to ingo Eiho koto ingo kawaita
take it?
Kia ora koutou. If you're coming to Kaikoura, do not wear black. I'll show you why. The reason this is, oops, my hand. The reason this is that way is because at the beach and everywhere there is this, I think it's limestone, I don't know, but it just makes everything white. Moss, are you white? Even my dogs are completely white now. We're off to Hamner Springs where it's not so white.
う